This is a story from my neck of the woods, my very, very red neck of the woods. Knoxville's jammin' 99.7 FM. That's a freebie. This is Joe Armstrong. He's the owner of WJBE 99.7 in Powell on the north end of Knoxville. Back in March, Joe gets this notice that the FCC is considering removing his license, his FCC station owner license for his radio station here in Knoxville. The reason being he's got a felony conviction in his past. Before I get into that, let me just say that as someone who's worked in the media for many years and worked in radio specifically for the better part of 2 decades and has worked in the Knoxville media market, I can tell you straight up, Knoxville has its own problematic history with catering to marginalized communities of color. Their radio stations, when they do program content for those communities, they're usually owned by, programmed by, run by old white guys. So having a local station that caters to marginalized communities of color, this is very important, especially in today's media landscape when everything is owned by one of the big guys, one of the big corporate white guys. Oh, I know Josh is talking about something again. It's always got to be about race. Why's everything got to be about race, Josh? Well, this is actually. I mean, you think about, this is very much about race. After 10 years of running this radio station, the FCC apparently has decided that now this guy's integrity is on the line because of a prior conviction. Though the radio station has had no complaints from vendors, listeners, not even the competition. In a nutshell, as a former member of the Tennessee General Assembly, Mr. Armstrong sold cigarette tax stamps for profit back in 2008. His accountant didn't pay taxes on the sale, which led to charges of fraud and false statements. Here's the part. He was acquitted of serious charges, but he was convicted of a single false statement count. Maybe you should follow my podcast on YouTube, Overthinking Everything, Deconstructing a Culture of Cultism. I kind of talk about how this kind of stuff happens a lot through history to, oppress people and keep them down. As he states, he's been convicted and made restitution. All of his rights have been restored, yet he's still being discriminated against by the FCC. Beyond that, from what I've gathered, he's done quite a bit for the local community here in Knoxville and small business owners and listeners. He says he appreciates the community's support after all this news comes out. He says this is about opportunity. It isn't about Joe Armstrong. The most important thing is that the station's surviving for the next generation. I don't know, FCC. I gotta call shenanigans. After all, I worked for a station owner for about 6 years who propositioned me for oral favors on the daily. And I worked with a major media personality here in Knoxville who verbally assaulted me daily and physically threatened me. I call bullshit.